All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Ben's Brick Designs. I'm Ben. Camera's all messed up, but that's okay. I don't care. How's everybody doing tonight? Happy Thursday. Happy weekend eve. Hello, Missy. Hello, Johnny. Thanks for being here. So we can talk about some Lego things tonight. We can talk about the TIE Interceptor. We can talk about the Artemis rocket. We can talk about a bunch of stuff. So if you got thoughts about the Lego things that are out now, I can officially talk about things that have been released. So if you want to say that you think the price points are good, if you don't, we can do that. So today, though, I'm going to be working today and for the rest of my life. Going to be working on the Q2 Stadium. So Q2 Stadium, for those not aware, if you haven't joined, yeah, the Droideka. That's one set I want to get. I still want to get the CIS. Oh, I forget what the cruiser's called. The CIS cruiser for the 25th anniversary of Star Wars Lego. And the Millennium Falcon, because legit, I haven't bought a Millennium Falcon in quite a while. So I think it'd be all right to get a mini scale. The mini scale is actually one of the last ones that I actually got. So that'll be fun. But yeah, so Q2 Stadium, gonna be working on this for a while. This is actually probably one of the better renditions of it, but it is Austin FC's MLS. Is it the Silent Hand? It's not the Malevolence. It's probably the Silent Hand. No, it's Invisible Hand. Providence class. That's what I'm thinking of. It's a Providence class ship. This one basically. This is Admiral Trench's ship. From a pretty good run during the Clone Wars, where he was blockading Ryloth, and they had to figure out a way to get past his blockade, because every time they would jump into the area, his forces were just sitting there, and they were overwhelming. And at the time, the Republic couldn't muster enough forces to figure out how to get past the blockade. So they deployed a stealth ship. It was one of the few times I've seen a stealth ship in Star Wars. And I forget what the stealth ship was called. I want to say it was like Needle or something. And it was designed by Tarkin and piloted by Anakin. And they basically kind of snuck in from the side and used it to take out a couple of the ships. It was a pretty good run. That and the Malevolence arc with the new Y-Wings, kind of at the beginning of the Clone Wars, was a lot of fun. I love stuff with and the Blade Wing thing in the Rebels with Query designing the prototype B-Wing. That's always my favorite stuff, is when it's a new ship, Thrawn stuff with the TIE Defender. That's always really fun. So yeah, so I want to get that one and the Falcon and the Droideka. All reasonably priced stuff. I'm not spending a ton of money. So I could probably do one a month kind of thing for a little bit. $100 here, $120 there. Not a big deal. Still kind of want to get that Venator. Still want to get the Artemis set that's out now. The new one. This guy comes with a launch pad. Not that one. It's called something else. Lego Space new release. Well, crap. Again, I don't want to open. It may be on an article in Brick Set. There it is. Space Launch System. So I really like this because it's $260. It's 3,600 pieces. This is going to be so much fun. I cannot wait to put this together. It's going to be pretty repetitive, especially the gantry part of it. But I think once it comes together, it's going to look great with all the other NASA stuff up here. I may have to dethrone Voltron over here and put this up instead. Not a huge fan of the Milky Way, but, you know, whatever. This would make a good draft, I think. A good draft set. And it comes with a little satellite that it's gonna launch. $200, 3,000 pieces, still pretty good. A lot of those are gonna be really, really small. We should do a tandem stream. It really depends on when he gets it. I have a feeling his spending's a little different than mine, although mine's curtailed a lot lately. I know I've got like lug bulk and stuff coming up that I have to pay for. And I don't know if we're going to do project support. So anyway. All right, so back to this. So I've got basically the size of the field, right? This is how big the field's going to be. I got to figure out how to do goals, but this is kind of how big based off of how big the seats are. And I did the seats with cheese wedges because I think it gives a good angle to the seats. It makes them look like seats. And I put them on a whole mess of snot bricks. So these are all snot bricks at an angle. And the reason I picked snot bricks, and you can kind of see over here what I was trying some different things over here. Snot bricks will give you a little line in between them. So you can have a little bit of the seats showing. And the reason to do that for me is because I originally tried this a long time ago. He's getting it day one. Day one is like May 4th or 1st, right? For the rocket. I don't know if I can swing that. I might have to. Maybe. We'll see. A lot going on lately. A lot that I, need to not spend a ton of money on. So we'll see how it goes. I have a birthday coming up. Maybe I'll ask for that for my birthday. What's up, James? So we had talked about different ways to do this. Basically, if I did the seats just a brick at a time. So if I did this, like that, and then just did different colors of this. So something like, these are that color, these are this color, and these are this color kind of thing. So it gives, because the seats in the stadium are all different colors, right? All the seats are different colors. From what I can tell, there are 3 different colors. They don't split up like this. I don't know what happened up here, but that's not how it looks anymore. See if there's a good image. So this is kind of like the front of it. It has a neat little lenticular design in there. So this is the supporter section. We all sit on the ATX. We sit probably right about here every time. It's like row 123. And we're always there. There's a couple people we sit with. The band sits right here. But you can see these are all different colors. So I picked dark green, bright green, and regular green. The problem that I ran into is originally the seats kind of... So you can see here how it all kind of looks like that. And this was one of the images I based a lot of this on. This actually looks a little squished comparatively, right? So if I were to angle it like this, kind of a similar view, it still doesn't look quite right, but it's very close. If I just did like a big base plate and covered them with tiles or plates, it would have been even more squished. If I did it with bricks, it looks it's just the same as if I had done it with these snot bricks, and it looks really flat. It looks like really, really flat. So I still like this, right? I still like this look. I think this looks good. I think this looks like the stadium. I think it'll work. What I need to figure out is I can't have it be like this. Just a wall of snot bricks back here. And you can see I've tried to do like a, well, they all hang off some supports, and these are just ideas. So there's some hinge plates up here, and this just hangs from that, right? I don't know how I did. See, why can't I see that under there? Used to be able to see. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I kind of put them up here where the hinges are. Yeah, so our seats are basically like right here. So that's kind of fun to know where your seats are. Each one of these is called a capo stand. So this is where these three things, where one or two people sit up on them and they have megaphones and they lead everybody in the chants. And we just sit there and chant for 90 minutes, plus stoppage time. And then people have flags and we're throwing water on each other, and it's a whole big thing. It's a football supporter section, right? Every supporter section kind of does that. So there's things that I need to figure out. So what I thought I would do, instead of trying to figure this out too much, is go back through, since I think this is just going to be the way I'm going to do it. And there were some other ways we were trying to think of. So at the last little event, there was like 3 or 4 of us hanging out at this Maker Faire thing. And I was working on this toward the end. And we're trying to figure out other ways to have the same sort of space in between, but give it a little more strength behind it. We don't fight. That's not that kind of football club. The fighting is within the supporter community. No, I kid. So there's a couple ways to get this done. I've counted all the seats, so this is like exactly how many seats are up in that section. So whatever I do, I kind of have to keep it roughly like this. Yeah, you can see I've tried to keep the sections as equal as possible. There's a little stand up in here I have to fix. I was going to put, there's a camera that goes up in here. So that's got to be flat. So that might be a chunk out of it too. What I was thinking is starting now with, since these areas are stairs that go down, and they basically go down to this level. So this level right here. So this level is basically concourse level. I think there's like 1 or 2 steps down from here. So like maybe this height right here is and that's actually a walkway. I should probably flatten that out, figure out how to flatten that out. So everything's about that height. So what I could do is like start building, start figuring out big chunks, because it's just going to be big chunks of stadium. Why am I not? Okay, first of all, this is dumb. So that's just a base plate. These are 32 by 16, which means that's 32 by 32. That can't be 32. 8 by 16. There we go. So I think what I was going for was, how expensive is this compared to one base plate? And it looks like it was. So I don't know why I was doing this. I think because these are, base plates are hard to build on if you're also going to, because they're like half the height basically of a real plate. They're not the same height. So if you end up building like stuff on top of it or using plates for something else, they're not going to mesh with this. So I don't know what I was doing with this, but maybe I could just put these two, because this is the tunnel that kind of goes underneath the section. I don't know if you're going to be able to see any of that from here, but there's a tunnel right here that kind of goes under it goes out to the loading dock area, and then underneath there's a whole bunch of stuff. This is an artist rendering. This is not actually what it looks like. But yeah, you can see right there, there's a tunnel that goes in there. So I was trying to keep this like tunnel-like. And then there's a walkway. And then there's a big cement brick over here. But this whole level, right about this level, all the way around is the same height. So what I was thinking I could start doing is just start kind of mapping out that height all the way around the stadium, and then figure out how I can do that in chunks and attach things on top of it. And that might be a little better for this. I also think I want to get rid of all these plates. I don't know why I thought this would be better, but so I'm gonna get rid of those, and this will just be something else. Also, these are pretty much the size of nano figures. So I think all these nano figures, these all exist in this color. I could literally populate everything with all these nano figures. This is the color of the team, verde and black. So all I would have to do is get a ton of these. Some of these are more pricey than others. But if they come in these two colors, I might be able to figure out a way to get a bulk of them. So anyway, so yeah, so that's what's going on. I hope everyone's having a good week. This has been kind of a weirdly long week, so I'm glad it's about over. Tomorrow's a Friday, and that's really cool. Let's see if I can get rid of all this. Yeah, see, I like all these ideas over here, but I think I'm just going to stick with what I got. I just want to make sure that I can attach it properly. So yeah, rockets coming out. What else we got coming out? It's over here. The only problem with base plates is they don't like to snap to the grid. Like everything else will snap to the grid. Base plates don't. So you have to kind of cheat a little bit and put a plate in here and have this connect to that plate. So then they line up. It's kind of a dumb way to do it, but it's the only way I know how to do it. Microsoft Defender. Don't really have anything. Music and video looking okay for everybody? And yeah, what do you got? What are you purchasing for the for May 1st? Is everybody getting something May 1st? So here's the first kind of section. Like I'll pull that off. then we're going to have a bunch of these behind it. All right, cool. Yeah, I can hear it, and it makes me feel all right. I can always turn it up a little bit. If you can barely hear it, that's perfect. It is meant to fill dead air. It's not really meant to be listened to all that much, so whatever works, works. So I got some feedback from the sandwich guys, and they liked the sandwich sub thing, but they want the ingredients to be a little more pronounced. I think I just broke the software. So I'm going to go back through at some point and try to extend the ingredients a little bit. I didn't want to say, well, it was my decision to do this because I wanted it to be more streamlined like an actual submarine. But I'm like, it's your guys' thing. You tell me what you want. Also because you're paying for it. But that'll be a thing that I'll work on a little bit at some point. I just got to make sure to line this up where it was. Right about here. That back to, I lost my eyeballs. There. I think that was it. Yes. Look at that. Was that a little farther on that side? I don't know if that lines up right or not. Capo stands right there. Seems to be centered. Yeah, all right. Can always move it around. I think that's right. That lines up there. TIE Interceptor for me, building it May 4th after the Pirate Star Wars night. Cool. I'm really glad I still have some of my UCS sets, because I'm like, if they do another UCS A-Wing or B-Wing, I'm like, sweet, I don't need to buy those either. I still need to get a Y-Wing, though. I think that'll be the next big thing. All right, so we said about this high. So when you're walking this area, this is a walkable area. So like we need to put cheese wedges in here or something. I don't know if these will work or not. Doesn't make it really, and then I think that conflicts. If I did it this way to make them flat, that would make it more flat, like a sidewalk, but that would run into that. So, don't know yet. Don't know what to put in there yet. So let's do another piece here. That works because that piece was already there. This was just an idea of like how to make it work underneath. If I wanted it to like have other sections. The problem is I've already built this in real life. And it's not terrible. So this is kind of like what a section of it would look like. About this high. Right? And then like a stairwell in the middle, in this section on one side. And this is also to test colors. I don't have my lights on, so you can't really see, but those are the main colors. And then these are the other colors that part of the seats are transparent. They're made of a webbing, so they look different. Hello, Greg. How are you? Thank you for being here. What is that? Oh, they're still building it. It wasn't finished yet. I can never find a really good example of how the seats look different. This may be one of the better ones. So you can see these seats right here are different color than these seats right here. These seats right here are webbed seats. So they're like those Henry Miller Aeron chairs, right? With the webbing, the office chairs. So it's like that nylon webbing, right? These are plastic. They're just solid plastic chairs. And I think the difference is these are probably the same color. I've been to the stadium dozens of times, but I can't really wrap my brain around this. I think it's the same three colors, but because they're webbed and it's a different material and you can kind of see the gray behind it, it looks like a different color. These almost look brown, right? So that's the whole reason I started doing a couple different ideas for different colors. Sort of the same, but you know, like this line would be probably pretty good with the dark green in it. And it would work pretty well. I think this line was the one I was working with. So lime green, regular green, and dark green. I don't know what I've done in studio though. I think this is bright green, dark green, and regular green. So that's this one. So it might be enough of a difference to show up. In the software, it's a lot more pronounced, but we'll see. Week's going pretty good. Trying to keep up with Lego news. There's some Star Wars news out. The finale of Bad Batch's hitting, and then we've got a new show coming out. Acolyte's coming out soon. May the 4th is coming up. A lot of Lego releases. And then we've got Outlaws coming in August 7th, I think. So a new game coming out for PS5 and Xbox, whatever the Xbox is. All right, so let's put this guy. This guy's going to need more railing. There's a whole thing of railing right here. More steps. So that's going to have to go right here. So we can put this like right here for now. Just to make it. I think there's going to be about this much railing. So another 2 bricks width along here. Not up here though. Isn't Outer Range the one with the hole in their property? This Josh Brolin. I watched the first episode and it was really cool. And now I want to go back and watch it because I'm almost done with Constellation, and Constellation is trippy. It's almost nothing to do with space. Like the first couple episodes are about space because they're on the ISS, but after that it just devolves into more of a thought experiment, which is really cool. All right, so let's assume I'm gonna get rid of this. Move this guy over to here. Oh, let's take everything because this is still a good idea, but nope, that's not what I wanted at all. Fine. Put him, no, that's fine. I'll just leave it right there. So there's other ways to make this. I'm getting sidetracked. Let's just build up a segment of this wall. So let's assume that there's a row and then a railing here. So this is the edge of the seats. Up top, I don't know where the edge of the seats are. I wish I could have it. I need to go. I'm going to be there Saturday. I'll take a look at how the railing on the sides look. Wasn't really part of... I never go with the idea of... There you go. See how the webbing is? And they're like bordered by black. But then these seats are hard plastic. This has changed too. That's not Atlas anymore. It's Dell and Intel. The bar up there changed sponsors. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's a good shot. Okay, so this like ends, and it's got kind of a big staircase here. So that's easily 3 wide. So to here. Again, I have to remember to make this in chunks or else it's not going to work. There's a whole other section here and here. I wish this would... So my Windows 11 on my laptop, if you hit Alt-Tab, it immediately jumps to the next thing. On this one, it highlights whatever you're on, and then you got to move it to the next thing. So it's hard to wrap my brain around it. How can you tell a chapter ends and a chapter begins in Dune? I'm guessing this is a sand joke. How? Tell me how. So there's a whole other section. This is a little section. It's a little triangle section. And then there's another check. Oh, how can I tell a chapter ends, another chapter begins in Dune? Like the books? Isn't there a chapter heading for each chapter? I mean, I could go grab my copy of Dune and see. Yeah, there's usually a quote. Like there's a quote from somebody at the beginning of each. And I forget what the quotes are usually from. So if I were to do this, it's so big, it's so dumb. So let's say this goes up to here. What is this size? 8 by 16. So why do you need to tell if a chapter ends and begins? Doesn't it just like say, you know, like chapter 1, chapter 2, something like that? Does it have a like a end and a big break? Or are you doing the movie and you need to know how it lines up? I'm confused by your question. Okay, yeah, so I think you can take a step down from here. So let's move all this over one. Because that should be there. I don't know how else to do big sections like this. This is part of figuring all this out. Like this is all just in the actual stadium. It's just all poured cement into frames like this. And there's doors in here and stuff that go under here. And this is where we paint the tifo, is under the stadium seats right here. So this should go back to, and so the stairs are here, right? The stairs are here and they will go down to this level. So they kind of go down like that. I think this is probably up one. I don't remember if, because I think it's right here where you walk around. Because we can almost go straight across from here to our seats. So that works. So let's just do that for now. How far are we in? We're almost at the end plate. Let's, since this is all going to be one section, move it all. Awesome. I can't with you. So unless it's like, I don't remember it this way, Greg, but unless it's like one big uninterrupted text, there should be like a gap at the end of the, my brain is broken. It's basic book reading. There's a gap, then you flip a page and there's an empty page, and then there's a big indented space with like a chapter heading or a chapter title or a quote, and then it starts a new thought kind of thing. Is that what you're asking? Like, yeah, that's the other thing. Are you reading it on a Kindle or are you reading an actual book? I feel like this needs to be one higher. I'm going to make the executive decision super early. He's got a bootleg PDF off of Google Docs from somewhere. Which, I mean, dude's been around for like 60 years. I'm sure you could buy a 30-cent copy of it at Half Price Books. So this whole tunnel goes out under here. Thought I had Dune. I thought I had Dune. I don't. Like that. Chapter 10. Does your book not do this? I feel like you're asking what do you put at the end of a sentence? Like, I'm not really sure what your question is. This is just Hitchhikers. I don't have. I had all the books. Your book doesn't do this. Okay, well then I don't know. I don't know what to say. There's no numbers. Like, is there a line break? Is there a line break like that on anything? Yeah. Each chapter starts with Princess Aurelian talking to, which is why in the movie it starts with what's her name, Marley Matlin, saying it is the year 10,191, right? The great Padishah Emperor Shaddam IV. So all those things, and then in like later books, it's different people. Like it's Paul Atreides in like Chapter House Dune or something like that. But it's a physical book that you got from like a bookstore, and it doesn't have breaks in chapters and stuff. That is so weird. Take a picture of what your book looks like, where you think a chapter would be, and post it in Discord, and I'll pull it up. Because now I have a curiousness. All right, so I think what needs to happen I'm wondering if I need to do Technic frames. I don't really want to, but I don't see myself buying a ton of these bricks. And also, I don't think I need to do it like this either. This is not stable. I feel like you got a bootleg copy of a book. Sorry, I'm not trying to be like condescending or anything. It's just such a weird question. It's like, how do you know which feet to put your shoes on? It's like your own feet. All right, let me see. Oh, where's my phone? Let me go grab my phone. This is what the music's for. That's the beginning of the chapter. That's exactly it. That's the beginning of the chapter. Yeah, that's it. You turn the page, there's a quote by Princess Aurelian. In later books, it's different people, but that's it. That's the beginning. I don't want to pull up Discord while I'm using OBS because Discord will try to fight with the camera and I'll lose the camera. Although, I'm not using a table camera right now. I don't think it'll be a problem. I hope. So yeah, Technic for this section. I just need to raise it up because if you can see from the photos, this is the concourse level over here. Yeah, so this is like concourse level right here. And you can see the field is way down in here. So when you walk into the stadium, you're on this level. You do walk up a little bit from the outside, but I don't know how far out to make the stadium. So you're used to seeing chapter 1 and so on. Some books don't do that. They end a thought and they go into the next thought. So yeah, this is what Greg was showing us. Yeah. I mean, if at the beginning of the book it says like, here's your table of contents and it's got chapter listings, I think Hitchhikers might. Some of them don't. Yeah, some have a chapter heading. Trying to think of the last book that I had that it didn't matter. Canticle for Leibowitz might not have had like chapter 1, chapter 2 kind of thing. So anyway. No, Lord of the Rings actually has chapters. Lord of the Rings. Everybody should get the big red copy. Yep. The thing, though, is that at the beginning, you have a table of contents. Some books have this, some don't. They'll just start in with it. Yeah, I've read books like that too. At least they give you a page break. So let's see. This will need to be built up to. Let me see if I have some pictures. I have some. I really need to organize my photos into. This is my oldest child being a little revolutionary at the last game. They have these big smoke things that when we score and at the beginning of the game. Let's see. You can usually tell where the photos are because they're green. This was just a great picture because of the sunset. It's really pretty. What I'm looking for in the older pictures, I'm looking for some pictures I know I took of like some of the building areas behind the stands. Because I wanted to keep track of like what the building angles were, but no, I should probably tag them. The whole point of having them in here is you tag them. Hawaii. I don't think we are even going at this point. Yeah, I may have gotten... Oh, here we go. Okay. So yeah, I was trying to get some images of like what the inside structures look like. All right, so this is what I was looking for. So here's one where these are all the seats, right? So whatever... And I kind of did this with the smaller stadium. It's just, you just get a big plank and there's stuff underneath holding it up and then these big poles over here holding it up. Yeah, Greg has left us. And here's where the top of these seats go, right? So this is looking at it from this walkway back here. So if I was here, kind of looking up, there's a big scoreboard right here. And then there's all these little shops under here. And then these are the stairway entries, these numbers, and they go up to about here and then back down to your seats. So that's what these stairway entries right here. So the seats look like they just go right up to the edge. So we can start right here, which is basically on the platform or on the, need an overhead. There we go. Pretty well lined up right on the plate there. So that worked out well. So what I can do is build each section of seating as its own base plate without much overlap. We get over here, it's gonna fall apart a little bit, but at least to start, which also means that I can have big frames going up to this point. So the question is now, to build them with bricks, build the frames with bricks, or build them with Technic. Technic might be fewer bricks. I can just get big Technic beams to hold up the crossways. So if we were to do something like that, let's build out the first walkway here. All the little shops, I don't know if you could see from here, they're going to be under the seats. So, and I'm not going to go into super detail about the shops, but I'll have windows and stuff because they're only going to be, you know, nano figure size, but they'll at least have the color of each shop is a little different. And then the openings for them and things like that. And I kind of want to have it this detailed, have some strings along the thing with the lights on them, that kind of stuff. So, but let's say we want to get it to this height, because that's a good height, I think. That works with this row right here. So, and we'll just do this section, because the walkway goes all the way around. But we'll start here, because I want to keep it section by section. Let's build this plate by plate, and then we can put each section, if we can do 10 inches cube and just kind of assemble things after that. I think that would work well. So I know this is a lot of just me talking, but this is the kind of stuff that I kind of have to figure out. What's up, Gears? Yes, it is Thursday. Welcome, welcome. All right, so yeah, like this wall going along here and going out to the outside, the loading dock, I don't mind being all brick, because it kind of has to have a look, right? And this might actually be a little wider. I'll have to play with the dimensions and see how many feet wide it is and stuff. So if we were to do this, it would be a lift arm. Of indeterminate height. Let's get a Technic pin. Friction. Ooh, we had Vietnamese food tonight, and I am stuffed. One of these, I always run into this problem. One of these is the cheapo, not that one. It's the cheapo one that everybody gets in every set. Maybe that one? Definitely not that one. All right, so we're going to go with this one. Technic pins, it's one of those where it's like, I don't need this specific Technic pin. I just will order a bag of Technic pins. And everybody knows what Technic pin you need. Okay, so bigger than that. I'm sure there are better ways to do this, but I'm just spitballing. That's too big. That's too big. What size was that? 11? Is there a 9? Is there a 10? Okay, let's go with that. Lift arm doesn't have to be any specific color. I think the cheapest are probably black or maybe red. Oh, they're right there. Straight Technic lift arms. Like black or dark gray seems to be a common color. 12 cents. That's probably good. Let's go with that for now. These, it says reddish brown's the cheapest, so we'll just go with whatever it says the cheapest is. I'd like to do 2 of these. And then I would like to do it's all going to be hollow underneath pretty much. I'm not going to build out the smaller the underneath area of the like the loading dock and stuff like that. I might do the loading dock doors and maybe like a small glimpse into like that area, but I'm not going to get too complicated. Just because the loading dock, I'll have the outside of the building at a lower level. So it'll be hard to incorporate that really. So if I do, let's flip this. Not copy. Dang it. That's frustrating. There's a key right above the escape key, and it's a minimize all windows key on my keyboard, and I want it destroyed. I do not want it on my keyboard at all. I don't know whose idea it was. I never need to minimize everything in my view. So the walkway is not a full base plate. The walkway is probably, and we can see from here, just based off the height of like this dude right here in the brown coat. Since nobody's laying down, do I have anything about that height here? Just looking around for something roughly that height. Nope. Nope. Brick separator. Brick separator for the win. 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably about 20 feet across. All right, Missy, take care. I'll see you in a couple weeks, probably at the next meeting. So let's say it's 25 feet across. I don't know what that translates to in my scale, sadly. I want to say it's probably about 10, 12 studs across. Let's do a, well, I have to get these buildings along it anyway. There's buildings there, so might as well just do a couple other ones. I did this. Stuff go over the top there. Yep. I'm going to put one in the middle here because otherwise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Perfect. If I don't, then these two will just rock that way. So let's do some 8, do 16 by 16 plates. Plate. I don't know how expensive 16 by 16 plates are. Medium lavender. Okay. And they're $1. Oh, let's do that for now. Because then I can cover this. We can cover all this in tile. Or other plates. Or we can make this light gray and just pay the $3. It's not my money, right? I can come back later and say this doesn't work and we need a different way to do this. Just need a couple of these. So yeah, I think I want to go back and watch that Outer Range. I liked it. I think I just got distracted by a different show. So might as well make this underneath here, huh? Keep it on that base plate. So move that underneath it. Add this under here for 2. Group. Okay. Lots of panels. So now I should be able to do that. That's nice. Oh man, which means okay, that's fine. That goes there. That goes there. Sometimes if you let go and then grab it from a different place, it works better. But if I just paste it and try to move it in here, it's trying to attach to some place that it doesn't work. If I let it go and grab it from the place I want to attach it, it doesn't work as well. Dear QA at Bricklink. Mr. McKittrick, after careful consideration, I'd like to say that your defense system sucks. Anybody? Anybody know that one? After careful consideration, I'd like to report that your defense system sucks. All right, so that's our walkway. And again, is this structurally stable? I don't know. Well, I know I can't do it in cubes if I'm splitting the cubes every half thing like that, so I probably can't. Let's see if I can do another obscure line without giving the movie away. There's a line about, I don't know how to swim. And his friend says, what do you mean you don't know how to swim? He's like, I don't know how to swim, all right? This is some kind of athlete. I don't know how to swim. And she says, well, what kind of... He says, what kind of somebody does something? And then she says, what kind of asshole? Sorry, what kind of a-hole grows up in Seattle and doesn't know how to swim? And he says, I thought there'd be time. I really thought there'd be time. I was going to get around to it. I think that's a pretty fair one. One I always quote as I say, okay, Mrs. Mack, you're confirmed on Pan Am flight number 273, bound for Paris, France. So this is great. I don't like that I've left off hunks of this thing underneath. This is fine. I have to move this over. I just have to. And do 2 on this side. And apparently put in... Why did I forget to do that? I have to pee. It's a long way to Denver. That's another line. I can't think that this is like the best way to do this. I just don't know how else. I'm so down on like how to do big things economically and stable and financially responsible. I guess that's economic. And low part count, I think was what I was trying to say. I mean, this is probably the best way to go because this is 1, 2, I guess, versus however many bricks it would take to build a frame around this. Might be better to do that. I don't know. So it would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 32 bricks to go around each one to hold it stable. So 32 times 64 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that makes it easier. 640 of these bricks versus, and that's just for one plate. 640, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the same thing. That's hilarious. Okay. There's no difference. I didn't save myself any work. It's 8 bricks high, so what I did was I made a frame that takes 8 bricks to do, and it's probably flimsier. At least with the 6x6 brick. Well, how much is a 6x6 brick? 15 cents. So $1 for 8 of them. 640 of them. Probably get them in a bulk deal for maybe $70, something like that. Versus these are almost nothing. These are almost nothing. These are almost the same as that. Probably half a dozen, 6 of one, half dozen of another. War Games. The movie is War Games. Mr. McKittrick is the guy Dabney Coleman was playing. He's the guy who kind of was the one who designed the Whopper. And I forget the guy who played the general who had the line, Mr. McKittrick, I'd piss on a spark plug if I thought it did any good. Yeah, that's why it's got these two in here. I don't think it'll twist very much. And I'm not putting hardly any weight on it in the middle. But I think it'll just be just as good to have brick. I was trying to come up with something a little more elegant, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think it's going to be necessary. Not any more necessary or easier to deal with than just than that. One level higher. Was it 5? Was it 4? Ask me how I know. Well, I trust you. I'm going to get rid of all these so I can kind of do this fresh. Group. So this is how I did the where did it go? It's a magic trick, kids. It just disappears. I thought I had. There we go. So, and the good thing about this is you can do this halfway through and not need. Oh, yeah, I can do that on this one. And this on this one. Why not use 1x6x5 panels? Those are on the pad wall often enough. I feel like those are even more flimsy because I'd need to. See, this is the kind of stuff that drives me insane with Bricklink. This is a group. This is a group. It's one group. It's a solid thing, right? Why would I want to have this connection go to any of these other bricks? Go to the top of the group. Always. This is the dumbest thing. I just want to slide this over. Rather than this connection, it defaults to like 2 bricks down. Yeah, I don't understand the logic. I wish I was a programmer so I could like truly like get on somebody about this and be like, you know, what are your calls? What are your something something something? So 1x6x5 panels. These guys, I can get bricks or panels. I think. I don't think these are just bricks. These guys. Yeah, I don't know how much those cost. Not those. So these are going to be 1 brick too tall, 2 bricks too tall, and I would have to get a couple. I suppose I could do a couple 1x6s on top of it. Well, move function's great, except I'm trying to cut and paste something, and it just wants to put it in the dumbest places. All right, so to maximize this, yeah, I don't know that these are any cheaper than 1x6 brick. They said white was the cheapest. So let's say, here's the thing. Here, let's say I want 50 of them. And US. So 30 cents each. And let's say 1x6x5, so that's 5 bricks high. So I would need, let's just do the math on this. Gray. And we'll do 50 of these. 9 cents versus 30 cents. So it looks like on Bricklink at least, well, there's quite a few, and then it ramps up pretty quick. I wanted more than that $1, $2, and this goes pretty low for a good number of them. Probably cheaper to do this. That's why. Good idea though. I mean, I like it. This is how I've been doing the layout for the horizon landscape on the back side where it's raised up, and I've been doing 2x4 bricks, and it works okay. The thing I have to remember is when I do chunks of it, like if you step it up, 2 bricks high, 4 bricks high, 6 bricks high, if you don't somehow join these two, like, and then a level and then a level and then a level, when you pick it up, it'll go like that. So you have to put some things that kind of go over to each levels to keep those, because the base plate moves. But I got a couple that are set up like this and they're fine. Let's do this. So this will be 1. Like if we just build 1 like this. I should try it in real life just to make sure, but I'm okay with this setup. So that's one base plate. And then we just repeat. And on the top, you can put them, they'll be pretty well joined by these two things. And including the center piece, it'll be fine. But if you put it like put some 1x4 tiles across these seams, they're great. 26 cents for those panels. Did Studio lie to me? That's still not cheaper than 10 cents. But you're right, if you have to get 5 of them, that's 50 cents. So the combination of... Let's see how tall this would have to be. It would have to be an odd number. So that's 3 bricks. So according to the software, it's about twice as expensive. So if I get 8 bricks times, let's say 12 cents, 9 cents, that's 72 cents for 1 tower. Versus if I got 3 bricks at 9 cents, so that's 27. And then 2 bricks at 26, so that's 50 plus 27, that's 77. Versus just... I mean, it's almost the exact same price. 75 and 77. Plus, these don't increase sharply as they get more and more. These increase pretty quick. It doesn't matter. Like, I'll go through it and see which one works better. In the end, too, this isn't... The exercise is mostly if I can make it work and if I can figure out different ways to... I don't think this is any more stable than this. But... I don't know. It might be. Let's keep this... Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Stupid... What the absolute F is wrong with you? Okay, let's keep this to the side so we can try it with the other ones. We can set up the model count and see which works better. Of course, that's no longer grouped because why would it be? So here we go again with the, doesn't work unless you let it go and then grab it. Put it up here somewhere else. Just little weird things you figure out about the software. All right, so each of these now, like if I were to just build on top of this, so the front of the shops are all going to be under here, which means this is just going to be walkway and building tops. And the building tops are not interesting at all. I don't even know if I've got a view from that side or not. So this is what the building tops look like. The roof goes to, well, that's a good question. Where does the roof go to? It goes right up to the edge there. So the roof is on fire. Where did it go? The roof goes right up to the edge of the seats. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that can't be right. This must be a weird angle. Or just not a whole lot of walk space. One of the two. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah. See, it goes right up to the edge of these buildings. So this is the section. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. This is the section I'm working on now. So the front of these buildings, behind the back of the scoreboard, top of the roof, top of the lower half of this lip of this roof. And then these buildings are tucked under the stairs. So buildings are tucked under the stairs. They go right here, or tucked under the seats. So there are your seats. And then the scoreboard is right here. And there's some seats that wrap around it. The scoreboard seems rather big, but I think that's about the right size. Seems like. And then there's this, oh, and they've got solar panels on top. That's pretty rad. That'll be fun to put on. As you can see, all the, this is the walkway right here. And it just goes all the way around the park at that level. So it goes under, it goes right under this section. This is the main, it's called the Zebra Gate. Zebra is a company here in Austin that's like it's like a staffing company or something. So they sponsored that gate. This one's just the Southwest Gate. This one is the, I forget what the other gate is. There's no gate over here. So it doesn't look like there's much of a walkway here. So most of this might be building. Like I would be okay if it like started here, and then we'll probably have a whole other section here. So let's do this. See how that works out so well? And if you don't get all this stuff right at the beginning, then later on you got these weird gaps everywhere. The farther up you get, the gaps just get, they overlap on each other. They drift. Like even in the software, like if you don't line up your base plates perfectly, and if you, it's just these little mistakes all the way around. Yeah, it's a big open air stadium. And it, I think they said that they were able to design it in such a way where they could add more seats if they wanted to. I don't know where. I think they could throw some seats in the corners here on either side. Some more corner seats. I don't know that they could extend the north section all that much. They definitely can't extend the south side too much. But it's good to know that they've kind of thought about that, because we've routinely This is their third year, and they've routinely sold out. They're like got the longest running sellout streak of MLS. So let's just say that this section here, because I'm still not convinced on how to make this work, but we can at least start on something. The building looks like it starts right about... I mean, it probably starts right about here. Looks like it. Pretty good. 21,000. Let's look it up. MLS sellout record. Let's see who's listed. Yeah, it's a 20,000 seat stadium. Sellout is anything above a certain percentage. So it's not every seat in the place, but they consider it a sellout if it's like 17 or something like that. Oh, 15,000? Yeah. Austin FC sellout streak. See if it's got a... Today. Guess not. All right. I don't want to look that up. But yeah, they always say that at the game. They're like, thank you for another great sellout attendance here at Q2 Stadium. Okay, so let's... By the way, this little stand right here is a bow stand. It has the best bow. They, their prices went up a little bit. And, they, oh, I'm starting not to feel good. I got, went today to get a, physical, my first physical ever. And, also got the second half of my Shingrix shot, which is a shot you get when you're old. And I'm starting to get achy. I guess now would be about when it starts hitting. So far, everything's good. My blood pressure probably could be a little lower, but it's not dangerous. My bad cholesterol is high. My good cholesterol is low. So I need to work on my bad cholesterol. Everything else seemed to be okay. Prostate screening, blood work thing was fine. They don't recommend a check until 55 now. So I couldn't tell if that was the dude saying, I don't want to put my finger up your bum, or if it was like, no, really, it doesn't really matter. Because some of the treatments are not awesome. So it's kind of not it's not worth it to get it early. That early. Still get it. Absolutely 100% get it. But it doesn't have to be that early. All right, so I think I can do this. Anyway, yeah, that bow stand is really good. So my MO for the past 2 years, because the first year we weren't really in the supporter section. So I guess the past 2 years has been, we'd go over to Hop Squad, which is a brewery, kind of a meeting place for the supporter section, and get a beer there, or a couple, and then go over to the stadium. Because the beers at the stadium are like $12 for a can of beer. Because it's a major league team. And then when I got to the stadium, go get some bow. But their prices have gone up too, so I'm a little sad. All right, is that all lined up? Nope. There we go. Lined up there. I almost want to... put something in here so it actually connects. Even though it won't, because it's... There we go. Okay. And then this is all walkway over this. And then this starts in with the other seating section. The seats just go right up to the field. You can see right here, they just kind of go right up to the field. Literally, you can walk down to the bottom of the seating sections, and it's just right. It's right on the field. So that makes things easier to kind of judge. So if you get the right dimensions of a soccer field, and all soccer fields are kind of different. Yeah, that's kind of what I did. I think it's called PSA, prostate screening something. And that's a blood panel. It's like your lipids and your cholesterol and your whatever else. I think there was one other thing they scanned for. I think HEP is one they look for. And I'm like, if I have that, I'd be super shocked. But who knows? It could be dormant from when I was in college or something, you know, or a child. HEP, what is the common, you get a canker sore, it's hepatitis kind of thing. Oh, my arm is sore too. Ooh, I might call in tomorrow. I'm not feeling great, but you can see it just goes right up to the thing. So here's the area I'm working on right here. This is kind of this area. This is a pretty good shot of it. If this is an okay image size. So there's stairs here, and stairs here, but it goes over to this tunnel, and this tunnel goes all the way back to the loading dock area. When we do TIFOs, we will use the parking lot, this area out here, where this truck is. This is the Longhorn Network and the Apple Media truck. They will use these trucks as broadcast trucks, but the areas around it, it's a pretty big parking lot. We'll spread out the TIFO and the netting and everything, and then go through this tunnel and bring it out here and get it all rigged up. So I'd like to have this tunnel kind of go back in there. So I might redo these so it actually goes through there just for my sake. I don't know. But the important part is that... Where'd it go? Oh, I lost it. Yeah. The important part is this flat bit goes all the way around in a corner. So there's a big thing of concrete right here. That's just a couple blocks. This may actually kind of go... Nope. I wanted this whole thing. This is kind of what I was going for, was trying to figure out how big of blocks everything is. Even if I don't use this exact setup, I kind of just want to get an idea of how big everything is, which is going to be impossible to do if the studio doesn't keep not working with me on this. Okay. I don't think it's this big. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. It's just Lego. It's just Lego. No need to get all weird about it. It's just Lego. So I went and visited a place here in Austin called the Texas Toy Museum, formerly known as the Austin Toy Museum. I asked them if they wanted to be sponsors for Brick Rodeo. They said they did, and they also wanted to know if we wanted to like do like an exchange for passes, because he and his guy who runs it / owns it really liked going the year before and wanted to know. God, this thing's gonna be massive. I mean, what are we on now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's got to be 8 base plates. There's got to be a point where this is too big. I mean, 8 base plates is like ridiculous. And that's just, there's a whole other, there's going to be probably 1 or 2 more this way, probably 3 or 4 more this way. And then however many, another 2/3 going the other way. Have you been to it? I really liked it. It's small, but they keep it in like order of like, the theme, like whatever the toy line is. And they have big ones. They have Turtles, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Transformers, things like that. It's not much bigger than my house, really. But it also has about 10 or 12 kind of classic video games in it, and beer. You can grab a beer, go play some video games, and look at some cool toys. And they're constantly getting stuff. So there's like a back area too. It's got some micro things along the wall. It's fun. I wouldn't say it's like a day's worth of stuff, maybe an hour. I think it's better for grown-ups than it is kids. It's a lot of nostalgia. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I don't know where they would do their after-hour events. There might be some backroom areas or something like that. Dude seemed really nice, so I hope more people go, and I hope they can expand or something to get more space, because I like that kind of stuff. There was another toy museum. Maybe this was it. It's next to or owned by Austin Comics and Austin Books and Comics. And there's like this corner near Lamar. It's Austin Books and Comics, Guzu Gallery, something else. And Austin Books and Comics connects this place in the kind of the other side of it. That's board games on one side and kind of a toy museum on the other side. And theirs is pretty good too. I think there's a little more at this other place. Yeah, I like that one because also you can get board games while you're there. So, but I haven't been there in a while. I emailed them, Guzu Gallery, Austin Books and Comics. There's an anime place by Kick Butt Coffee that I emailed. Emailed Kick Butt Coffee, and I left some flyers at Kick Butt. So I'm trying to hit a bunch of these like toy stores or comic stores, and so far, the Austin Toy Museum is the only, or the Texas Toy Museum, Texas Arcade and Toy Museum, is the only one that responded. So that's why I'm pimping them a little bit. I went there at lunch, spent 20 minutes walking around. It was fun. They had these toys, and I had to take a picture and send to my brother. It was a glove with like a spider hand, right? And they had this big old plastic bug on the back of it. And there were 3 different ones. And then it had this big figure, like a 8-inch figure, maybe. He-Man scale or a little larger, that sat on it. And their helmets had like antennas and stuff. And like you could do stuff with the bug in the back to like make its mandibles open or its wings flap. And I saw him and I'm like, oh man. And I texted my brother and I was like, we had these, right? He's like, oh my God, yeah, we had those. I don't remember what they're called, but we had them. Insectoids, was that? Yeah. They were fun. So yeah, they had like stuff I hadn't thought of. They had like Crystar, just a lot of fun old stuff. Their Lego thing was oh, did they really? Nice. So I was talking to the guy about it, and he was like, yeah, we're working on our Lego section, and we just started working on it, and it's going to take me a bit, so don't judge me on that. And it had like, you can tell there was a section that was kind of in process of being built. And he's like, I want to kind of have like a big column of stuff kind of fanning out like a big thing. He's like, but it just takes a while because it's not like any of the other toys where you can just kind of clean up and then pose them inside their group. You have to like, if somebody brings in a box of stuff, you have to put it together. And I was like, yeah, I don't really have anything I could donate to that because my stuff's either on display and I want to keep it, or I've taken it apart and it's all in pieces. So it was fun. I liked it. I was going somewhere with that. Oh, so he goes, yeah, I want to do something kind of like that big, he goes, have you seen the Capitol building they've got here somewhere around here? I was like, oh yeah, I did that. And he was like, really? Yeah, this isn't, okay, so this is about 20 feet. Don't want caps lock. May have to put another front, a little more of the sidewalk here. All right, so this has kind of given me the space that I need. If I wanted to put those buildings in here, I would probably put them, is this a chunk? So we'll do a chunk. And let's just, let's get some masonry bricks. Because awesome, thanks. Exactly where I wanted to put that. I think right about there. Maybe right about there. No, I like this. It's a round number. It's on a 4. That's good. Let's do that. And I want these to be this color, which is like a dark tan. And then there's going to be doors and stuff in there. I might do that instead. I have no idea how tall to make this, but maybe that. And then I want modified brick. It's almost time to sign off here. I know this was kind of a weird thing. That's a little more. Well, that might work. I think at that size, it'll probably work. Oh, you know what? This is a good... Why don't we use one of these guys to get a scale? Since I'm doing everything else to scale, this may not be that big. So I think this is probably going to need to be raised up a little bit, maybe on another plate or another tile. I just have a feeling this isn't going to be tall enough. This looks like it may be too tall. Let's move one brick down and maybe do that. That's probably good, yeah? That guy's kind of tall. I just don't know where my keystrokes are half the time. Using dark gray. That. I need 3 extra hours of my day so I can listen to the Trump Supreme Court oral arguments. I try to listen to them. I have them on kind of in the background on NPR, but after a while I get so mad. I get mad at the answers. I get mad at the questions. I get mad at people just obfuscating all over the place. It's so frustrating. This actually looks like it needs to be closer in. If that's going to be the edge, and this is going to be, like, I feel like this might be here. And this is actually, that feels a little better. I don't mind if these buildings are a little bigger, or I can put, yeah. And maybe one back. Just eyeballing really, because I don't have I'm not as good at scale as Darth Designer. But that feels right. So my thing is, like, if these seats, if there was a person in these seats, would they be about that tall? And I think the answer is yes. Right? That seems like a thing. See if we got a picture, just kind of gauge how big. If there's a good one, it's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it's probably pretty good. So if I'm basing everything off the nano scale, then that's about as big as I want that building to be. Okay, so just a ton of these. There's also 1x4 masonry bricks. Mason. I don't know if these come in tan. They also don't have to be masonry bricks. These are just, but they definitely have like a brick look to them, and I want to kind of differentiate. And then we'll leave room for doors. Like there's a door right there. Kind of thing. And then indentations. So like that. I'll probably have a plate between these two. I don't think I'll go super crazy with like, oh, there's a fire hydrant in here. But knowing me, I probably will figure out a way to do that. And it'll be so fiddly. And it'll only, because it'll ideally be in a display where you can really only see the outside of it. So it doesn't matter what like a lot of this internal stuff is, because you'll never see it. But when I'm putting it together, I can do little tours of it and like run my camera through it and be like, look, there's a little fire box here. Like, let's just do it now for no reason. Modified brick. It's about halfway up. Let's do plate. Oh, really? That figures. Headlight brick. Figures it doesn't come in that color. And then we're going to do another plate. In white. And then I know, because I've seen it, oh, it's a heart. It's a defibrillator. This better be in white. Haha. Perfect. Stuff like that. That's a save. That's a save. All right. So, yeah, so we've accomplished almost nothing. I haven't given up on Gears's trusses here. Any suggestions on how to make this a little more economic? But I think given that I just need to raise it up to this level, this is probably an okay solution. I could probably get away with minimizing some of these or doing some maybe columns. The problem, like I like the 2x6s because if you rotate them like I've got, it'll keep them from like collapsing one way or another. So I think that works pretty well. And again, these can be built so they are taken apart in chunks. So like I'll probably have to have seams in here so they can be taken apart and built in chunks, stored somewhere, put back together in chunks. These would be perfect sizes to do like, all right, I'm working on this chunk now, right? This chunk is this part of the building, and it's just some tiles and section of building. Super easy. White roof, solar panels, done. Yeah, so I think I got a kind of a good idea of how to kind of approach this now, and I'm looking forward to working on it some more. So I won't do it all the time. If I get a set now and then, I'll pepper it in here, or we'll throw some microfighters or something in here, but I really do want to keep on working with this because I don't want it to be a 20-year project. I'd rather be like a 6 or 7 year project. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate Johnny, James, thanks for being here. I will talk to you guys Sunday. I think I'll be here Sunday. I don't think anything's going on Sunday. Let me double check. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Nope. There's a 2 p.m. hockey game, but we're not going anywhere. So I will see you guys in a few days. Take care.